Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Sabha TV, where we get you the day's top stories from India and across the world. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley targets rising incidents of intolerance, appeals for calm and restraint, urges people to engage in debate, not vandalism. Amid galloping rise in the prices of pulses, father of India's Green Revolution, MS Swaminathan calls for increased focus on agriculture. Centre reviews steps to increase supply. Under pressure over rape cases, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal cites corruption in Delhi police, tells Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hand over the law and order to his government. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj dismisses perception of Indo-Russia ties being under stress, says Moscow is India's tried and tested real friend. And the Sultan of Multan, Virendra Sehwag, finally makes it official, retires from all forms of cricket after a career spanning over a decade. Seeking to send a strong message to those indulging in vandalism, the centre has criticised such methods for expressing opposing views. In fact, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley today urged for a more civilised way to protest than launching attacks. However, the opposition has sought stricter action against those indulging in vandalism.
On Tuesday, the centre broke its silence over the recent debate on rising intolerance in the country. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley appealed for calm and restraint while urging people to engage in debate, not vandalism.
Past few days have seen an extremely disturbing trend where some people have been resorting to vandalism as an instrument of registering their protest or conveying their views.
His statement came a day after President Pranab Mukherjee appealed for maintaining pluralism in society. On behalf of the centre, Jaitley also came out strongly against those indulging in vandalism.
I have no difficulty if people convey contrarian views, because that's the essence of democracy and debate. But the debate will have to be conducted in a manner in which we are able to raise the level of debate rather than use vandalism as an instrument for registering our opinions or our protests.
Opposition parties, including the Congress, have sought strong action against those threatening the peace and harmony through such acts.
अगर प्रधानमंत्री, वित्त मंत्री और सरकार गंभीर है, तो वो देश को आश्वस्त करने के लिए तमाम ऐसे व्यक्तियों के विरुद्ध जो उनके दल में हैं, चाहे संसदीय दल में हैं, कार्रवाई करें.
Something needs to be done by the government. The government has to act. They are not acting. By not acting, clearly they are patronizing these forces. So that is the basic point. Stop giving us sanctimonious speeches and stop preaching. Act.
Earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had urged to shun violent means to protest after the row over the Dadri lynching incident. Jaitley's remarks came after BJP ally Shiv Sena forced cancellation of talks between Indo-Pak cricket board chiefs on Monday. The party had also praised those who smeared ink on former party leader Sudhindra Kulkarni for participating in the book launch event of former Pakistan Foreign Minister Khurshid Mahmood Qasuri last week. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, violence continues in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag district for the third day as protesters clashed with police over mob killing of a truck driver. At least 4 protesters have been injured as police used pellet guns and tear gas shells to disperse the mob. JKLF chairman Mohammad Yasin Malik was also detained along with 4 others shortly after they visited the residence of the truck driver. A shutdown is also being observed in many parts of the district, and due to clashes, the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway was closed once again.
इस कश्मीरी कौम के जो पुरअमन एहतिजाज के तरीके हैं, उन पुरअमन एहतिजाज के तरीकों को मत रोको. इसलिए इस्लामाबाद के लाल चौक जो पूरे साउथ कश्मीर की अलामत है, हमने फैसला किया है हम उस लाल चौक में 24 घंटे तक बैठेंगे और एक मुनज़्ज़म एहतिजाजी भूख हड़ताल वहां पर होगी. अभी
Meanwhile, central forces have been deployed in key cities of Punjab in view of the statewide protests over the alleged desecration of the Sikh holy book. On Monday, Sikh groups had blocked highways across the state, demanding action against those responsible for the sacrilege. The protesters have threatened to continue the blockade till the 25th of October. Punjab is witnessing a spate of protests during which 2 people lost their lives in police action. Congress and Aam Aadmi Party leaders met the Punjab governor on Tuesday and demanded the dismissal of the Prakash Singh Badal government and the imposition of president's rule in the state. In fact, the chief minister has convened an emergency cabinet meeting on the crisis, considered the worst in his tenure. Well, for more on these developments, we are in fact joined by Sanjay Singh, who's the political editor of First Post, joining us in studio, in fact, this evening. Sanjay, just starting, of course, with what Arun Jaitley said today, those incidents, of course, of vandalism that he particularly talked about, he particularly, of course, condemned, and in fact also saying and blaming the media that perhaps they're also giving importance to these incidents, reminding us of what happened during the UPA regime, of those shoe-throwing incidents. But clearly this isn't the same, is it?
No, Tracy, these incidents are not the same. In fact, Arun Jaitley himself said, in past few days, we have seen some very disturbing trends. And the government, of course, is concerned about these developments because this does not augur well either for Modi government or for the ruling BJP. Because this also is a matter of party's image and also the kind of perception that should be for the ruling party. And therefore, Arun Jaitley came with a very strong remarks. These remarks are also kind of intended against Shiv Sena. They're an important ally of BJP, which is their ally here in centre as well as in Maharashtra. And therefore, his remarks become very important than a casual remark made by Union Minister. Of course, and therefore, the Congress and the left and also there are so many people are saying about this thing, charging government of inaction and so on and so forth. But the real problem is the kind of attacks that are taking place, apart from some very serious incidents taking place out there, say for instance in Dadri, ink attack, so to say. And then Arun Jaitley also says that there is also kind of a demonstration effect. If somebody does that and that hogs media limelight, then some other person or some other groups indulge in same kind of action. I don't know how, as far as those indulging in ink attack can be dealt with legally, but of course, it's a matter of perception. That too, when ally of ruling party, principal ruling party here, indulges in those acts. Nobody can justify what happened to Sudhindra Kulkarni or for that matter at BCCI office or for that matter what happened in Dadri. In fact, the problem for the BJP was some motor mouths of the BJP and Sangh Parivar went on saying few things on also something appeared in Panchi Janne and therefore the RSS distanced from that. The editor of Panchi Janne also distanced from that. That was another interesting point. And then Amit Shah had to take on his own party leaders.
Yes, that's right. But apart from these statements that we're of course seeing, and which is of course tarnishing the image of the BJP, putting them in an embarrassing situation. But you also have a prime minister who doesn't respond to a shocking incident for weeks until and unless the president himself speaks on certain issues. Then you see the prime minister reacting on it. Apart from that, it seems like it's a free-for-all just on the basis of suspicion. The kind of incidents that we're seeing is basically just on the basis of suspicion. And, it's turning into a free-for-all all across the nation, if we could actually point out. And that is, that is what people are questioning, that the government is just coming out with these statements, but no particularly taking action on the ground as such.
There are two things, Tracy. That incident, of course, was very tragic and condemnable in harshest terms. But then if Prime Minister reacting to this thing, he should have reacted. He, of course, reacted a bit later. And then as and when he reacted, of course, there were many who criticized Prime Minister for reacting late and also the kind of statement he made.
Yes.
The key question is whether or not Prime Minister reacts, but the law enforcing agencies out there, how do they react to a particular situation and a right kind of atmosphere is created. Of course, this was a state subject. this particular incident happened out there in Uttar Pradesh, and state government also had some responsibilities to handle. But what is particularly concerning this government is that chain of incidents that had happened in recent past, and say in 10-15 days that have taken place, and also some incidents preceding to that. And therefore, it's very important for the government to curb those incidents as and when they are happening. And also, apart from the incident, there are people who are speaking, trying to justify or
exactly
give diversion to
doing further
what has
damage
happened
and
there.
perhaps making it worse, making it really worse for the victims, making them angrier. In fact, Sanjay Singh, we'll have to leave it for the moment, but thanks so much for joining us on this story. Heading on to more news and calling for an increased focus on the agriculture sector, MS Swaminathan has said that the future belongs to countries that prioritize grains, not guns. The father of India's Green Revolution, Swaminathan has urged the government to give priority to the agriculture sector, which is the backbone of the economy. He also called for increased focus on science. Swaminathan said this during a presentation at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington. He also lamented that agriculture was not receiving the necessary attention in India. Now, although he did praise the Prime Minister, saying that his intentions were good, he also said that things were not happening the way they should be at the ground level. Swaminathan also highlighted the need to maintain social protection methods and strengthen them further. The other area of focus, according to him, is food storage losses that are now very high. Meanwhile, the centre today reviewed the action taken by state governments to check the price rise in pulses. A meeting of secretaries was informed that in the last few months, 5 states took action on hoarders and seized over 5,800 tons. The matter also became fodder for politics, with 2 ministers accusing the Bihar government of contributing to the fall in production.
Unnerved by the galloping price hike, the centre on Tuesday reviewed the supply situation of pulses. At a meeting of secretaries of various ministries, the Cabinet Secretary took stock of the production, procurement and availability.
Government is concerned about price rise of pulses. It has taken several measures to control the prices of pulses. It has banned export of pulses. There is zero import duty on import of pulses. So continuously we are making efforts to increase the availability of pulses even through imports.
Union Agriculture Minister Rajya Singh kicked up a controversy on the issue. He claimed pole-bound Bihar was contributing to the declining production, which he said had fallen from 5.43 lakh tons in 2012-13 to 4.2 lakh tons in 2014-15, a charge that his party leaders took up.
बिहार के अंदर जो टाल का इलाका है, वहाँ दाल की बड़े पैमाने पर उत्पादन होता है, पैदावार होती है। पिछले 2 वर्षों में दाल का उत्पादन क्यों घट गया? इसका जवाब बिहार की सरकार को देना चाहिए।
Union Minister Ramvilas Paswan accused the Bihar government of neither fixing the stock limit nor taking action against hoarders. JDU leaders, however, rejected the allegations.
दिल्ली में इनके सारे ऑफिसेज हैं। दिल्ली में इतना दाम क्यों बढ़ गया? और दिल्ली में दाम जितना बढ़ गया और प्रदेशों में, तो उसका तो जवाब देना चाहिए, तब बिहार की बात करना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, the Congress staged a protest over the climbing prices of pulses in Mumbai.
देश में 50 लाख टन दाल की किल्लत है। 5,000 टन दाल मांग के ये जताने का प्रयास किया जा रहा है कि हम दाल की कीमतों को कंट्रोल करेंगे। हमें लगता है सरकार ने साल भर में जानबूझकर जमाखोरों को मौका दिया।
The government is expected to import an additional 2,000 tons of arhar and 1,000 tons of urad dal. In Delhi, 400 outlets of Safal and 100 outlets of Kendriya Bhandar are selling tur dal at 120 rupee per kilogram. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
With a quick break here, but still ahead, Justin Trudeau is Canada's new Prime Minister after his Liberal Party wins an outright majority in Parliament.
A time-tested relationship. Today weathering the winds of change. Is there a need to repair Indo-Russian friendship? What's on the agenda for Sushma Swaraj in Moscow? Watch The Big Picture at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back to the news tonight. Now let's get you some news from the national capital. And facing criticism after the rape of 2 minors last week, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has asked the Prime Minister to hand over the control of the national capital's law and order matters to his government. He also cited a survey which claims that Delhi police is at its most corrupt ever. Responding to the charges, the Delhi police chief has announced a reward for evidence against officials.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's tussle with the centre and the Lieutenant Governor for more power to his government continues. He has now taken to Twitter asking the centre to hand over the national capital's law and order matters to the state government. He urged Prime Minister Narendra Modi to work together with him to improve the situation. The AAP government has been facing criticism after 2 minors were allegedly raped in Delhi last week. Kejriwal had put the onus on the centre, saying his government does not have control over Delhi police.
ACB के कमजोर होने की वजह से जो हमारा दायरा पहले MCD और पुलिस तक था वो घटा है और निश्चित रूप से उसका असर दिख रहा है.
Department, the most corrupt department, it is not said by Aam Aadmi Party, but it is said by an independent agency. Survey has proved it and done it. And I hope that Mr. Bassi should take care of his own department, which is proved to be the most corrupt department.
Kejriwal also cited a new survey that claims the city's police department as the most corrupt. He also pointed out that the survey claims corruption is down in state government departments. However, the Delhi police chief has dismissed the survey's claims. He announced a reward of 25,000 rupees to anyone who will give proof against corrupt Delhi police officials.
मैं इस प्रकार के सर्वे के साथ में को चैलेंज नहीं करना चाहूँगा. अगर इस तरह की बात है तो हमारे लिए एक अब फर्दर चैलेंज है कि हम दिल्ली पुलिस से करप्शन को टोटली ख़त्म करें. आज से हम अनाउंस करने वाले हैं फॉर योर इन्फॉर्मेशन कि जो भी व्यक्ति किसी पुलिसकर्मी के खिलाफ ऑडियो वीडियो एविडेंस देगा बेईमानी का, उसको 25,000 रुपया इनाम दिया जाएगा.
Kejriwal had stepped up the attack on the centre, the LG and the Delhi police after the 2 rape incidents last week. On Sunday, after meeting LG Najib Jung, Kejriwal had alleged Jungle Raj in the national capital under the Delhi police. With inputs from Anu Diwan, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you more updates from across the country nationwide. 2 children were killed after attackers allegedly burned their house in fact, and it was set ablaze while the family was sleeping. The incident happened in Sunpet village in Haryana. Their mother suffered serious burn injuries while the father too has been injured. The Union Home Ministry has sought a report from the state administration. The Union Minister for Social Justice has also assured all required assistance to the victims' parents. Retired Delhi High Court Judge Rewa Khetrapal has been finalized to be appointed as the Lokayukt of Delhi. The decision to appoint Khetrapal was unanimous among Lieutenant Governor Najib Jung, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, Opposition Virendra Gupta and other leaders. A Delhi court today convicted former Uber cab driver Shiv Kumar Yadav on charges of raping a woman passenger in New Delhi last December. Yadav faces a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. The court will announce its verdict on Friday. The BJP has questioned the fairness of the ongoing Panchayat elections in Uttar Pradesh. It accused the ruling Samajwadi Party of influencing officials after senior leaders were video recorded capturing booths and intimidating officials in Mainpuri and Etah. Protesting students of the Film and Television Institute of India today met Union Minister Rajya Rathore in an attempt to end their 4-month strike. The Pune Institute students are demanding the removal of actor Gajendra Chauhan as the FTII chairman. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj arrived in Moscow on a 3-day visit late last night. Sushma will co-chair the 21st session of the annual India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission meeting with her Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. She met Lavrov, after which she dismissed any signs of strain between relations between the two countries. The two leaders spoke about strengthening the ties further when the BRICS nations meet in India next year. Earlier, Swaraj also took part in the industry's ministers' meet of BRICS nations. She laid out a roadmap for lowering corporate taxes and the opportunities in India for trade and investment. In fact, ahead of her arrival in Russia, Sushma had a stopover in Ashgabat in Turkmenistan. She held talks with her Turkmen counterpart Rashid Meredov on key issues, including the Tapi gas pipeline and the Ashgabat agreement on trade and transit.
और जहाँ तक हमारे द्विपक्षीय संबंधों का सवाल है, मैं एक बात ये कहना चाहूँगी कि हम जब भी विश्लेषण करते हैं तो एक चीज़ पाते हैं कि पूरे विश्व में अगर हमारा कोई जांचा परखा मित्र है, असली दोस्त है, तो वो रूस है।
And Justin Trudeau has been elected the new Prime Minister of Canada with a promise of change and returning a tuft of glamour, youth and charisma. The Liberal leader Trudeau beat Stephen Harper's Conservatives to scoring a stunning victory. His Liberal Party won the majority of the Parliament's 338 seats. The Liberals were at a distant third place in Parliament before this election. Stephen Harper conceded defeat, ending his government's 9-year run in power. And with that, let's take you through other international news in Global Buzz. A bomb blast in a passenger bus killed at least 11 people and injured 22 others in Balochistan. The explosion took place just when the vehicle was about to leave a bus terminal at Quetta Saryab Road. No group claimed responsibility for the attack. Pakistani Foreign Secretary Azaz Chaudhry has said that his country had developed low-yield nuclear weapons in response to what he called India's cold start doctrine. He also said that Pakistan will not sign any nuclear deal with the US during Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's visit to Washington. Russian airstrikes killed a top rebel commander and several others in Syria's Latakia province. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said 45 people, both rebels and civilians, were killed in the strikes on Monday evening. Cricket now, and Virendra Sehwag has announced his retirement from international cricket and the IPL on his 37th birthday today. This brings down the curtains on a career spanning 12 years in which he scored over 17,000 international runs across all formats. Sehwag is the only Indian batsman to score a triple century in tests as well as a double century in ODIs.
Oh, it doesn't look good though. A miss hit is a long way off the cards at this stage.
Well, this would appear to be Sehwag's day. What a good shot.
Virendra Sehwag announced his retirement from international cricket and the Indian Premier League, bringing to end an illustrious career spanning over a decade. Sehwag made the announcement on his 37th birthday via Twitter with a crisp message that said he would no longer play the IPL either. Considered one of the most destructive batsmen in world cricket, Sehwag scored over 8,000 runs in 104 tests with an impressive average of close to 50. He is the only triple centurion in tests for India, having scored a career-best knock of 319 against Pakistan in Multan. In 251 ODIs, he scored 8,273 runs at an average of 35.05. In 19 T20 internationals, he managed 394 runs with 2 half-centuries. He has been a part of 2 World Cup winning teams under Mahendra Singh Dhoni's leadership. First in 2007 World T20 in South Africa and then the 2011 World Cup in India. While announcing his retirement, Sehwag heaped praise on his teammates, especially former captain Sourav Ganguly. He claimed without Sourav's backing, he would never have played Test cricket.
And I'm pretty happy with my career, and thanks to all the fans and the supporters and the BCCI, my coaches, there are so many coaches, and my friends, my colleagues, senior players like Sachin, Rahul, Kumble, Srinath, Saurav, VVS Lakshman, Harbhajan Singh, Zaheer Khan, Ashish Nehra, Gautam Gambhir, Yuvraj Singh. There are so many names. MS Dhoni, I played with them. So thank you very much for support and for your love.
Sehwag's decision comes barely a few days after one of his contemporaries, Zaheer Khan, decided to call time on his career. Sehwag had not been in the Indian team since 2013 due to poor form and injuries. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thanks so much for joining us.